And we should now be live. Good evening, everybody. I'm just going to double check the stream is all working correctly. I believe that it is. We'll whack that into performance mode. How are we all doing this evening? Hello, Kairu. How are you? And I think a few of you guys are also in chat. Harrison, Nicholas is here. King Giga, Smaug, I think Berenson may be here or may not be here. But hello, everyone. Hello, Ryan. And good to hear it, Smaug. And yeah, we are back on Isla Sodor, and it has been a long time since I have been on this particular island, so I'll just do a bit of a whirlwind whistle tour in a second. I'm just going to have some tea. I'm doing all right, Smaug. Bit groggy today, but more or less okay. How are you? Oh no, you've already said you're doing good, good. I just killed a whole Imperial camp in a galaxy far, far away. King Giga, I never took you for being a member of the rebel scum. Kyrie, I remember this park from the rant about the Hammond statue. Yes, this was the park I picked to just demonstrate the Hammond statue. So yeah, Isla Sodor, named after the island in the Thomas the Tank Engine TV show, which was a favourite of mine as childhood. So the map itself, the island is built to basically have a sort of similar shape to Isla Sodor, and the defining feature of this park was that it was built to be as family friendly as possible, and that there would be only small animals on this particular park. So, for example, we have a wild Yeholopterus here. We have compies. We have oviraptors. We were also coming up with new and interesting ways of using decorations for imaginative things. So, the compy enclosure, you have these security cameras, which you would be able to take control of from these monitors here to view the compies up close. It's not just small in terms of like tiny animals, we've also represented the smaller members of particular groups here. So we've got Pachyrhinosaurus and Muttaburrasaurus in here as two the smallest examples of those types of animals in the game. Same with over here, we have Amargasaurus and Chasmos. And we're also spending a lot of time doing environmental details. So we have an actual mini golf course here, which was painstakingly built off stream. We also have a walkthrough enclosure here with 3 different biomes full of particular animals, a scientific section at the back. And the last thing we did was we constructed a castle for the island, which is where I sort of stopped because I didn't know what I wanted to do beyond the castle. Well, having come back to it 3 or 4 months later, the castle is now a lot more complete. We have 2 enclosures to complete at the back of the castle. You can see I've added some waterfalls here. And we also have the enclosure, or the wild enclosure that's going to be at the back here, which is being serviced by a jungle river cruise, which is going to be connected to the campground that's going to be built here. We also have a hedge maze that needs to be finished, and we need to finish the area down here by the Ichthyosaur Lagoon. So quite a lot that needs to be done to finish off this park. But we're going to start down at Sodor Castle. And these 2 enclosures here, as well as this carp-filled lake, which also needs some decoration. So this is where we're going to be focusing for now. Now, I want the 2 enclosures to hold, again, slightly smaller animals, but I want them to be completely different in terms of their looks. Like 2 completely different biomes. Because I'm Swedish, I never got to see Thomas the Tank Engine. Ah, well. I'm surprised that It's probably been translated to Swedish nowadays, I would think. So yeah, I need some examples for what sort of environmental details or biomes to go with for these particular enclosures at this end of the park. And then we will pick the animals going into them. Modded creatures. It doesn't have to be modded creatures. Just small creatures. Microceratus is definitely one good option. Seji I've used... Did I use it in the Europe park? No, I don't think I did. So we could have Seji and Microceratus. May definitely fit in there, but what sort of environments do we want? You're never too old for trains. I couldn't agree with you more. I think the Microceratus one is probably going to be best if we do like a desert style. Maybe we can just give it like a desert sort of enclosure. Everyone does well. I think not everyone does like trains, especially if you have to rely on them for, say, public transport. Let's smooth out that little dune a little bit. Yeah, that's okay. And I'm going to be a bit more severe with the sand around this water. It's better. A swamp environment. We could do a swamp for the Segisaurus. It would be a bit difficult to represent a swamp, considering how little land that we do actually have here. Because that's basically as much water as we can put in here, so we can't really do like lots of water, but we could try to at least have plenty of vegetation stuff about it. Also remember that small animals cannot walk through water. So actually thinking about it, a swamp is not going to be very useful here. Maybe we could do like a mini fern, mini pine forest or something. Like, not use the huge ones, but just do like a mini sort of one. Oh, the amphibian mods. Well, yeah, so this park was started a long time before those amphibious, that amphibious mod was out. And I don't really think I've got anywhere that the amphibious... where is the tanks? I don't really have anywhere where the amphibious, like, mod things really fit anymore. At least nowhere that it sort of makes sense. Because obviously the campground is just going to be a guest area, and the rest is going to be a wild area. So really, the amphibious bits will have to stay out of this particular park. But we could at least put the amphibious animals in here, perhaps. But yeah, let's just do the decoration for this oasis enclosure. and then we'll go and pick out some skins. By the way, the realistic park is not been sort of forgotten or cancelled or anything. I just don't want to be doing it every single time, just because of how long it takes to sort of build stuff on it. And I want to make sure that some of these streams are a little bit more active for folks. That's the plan anyway. I thought the name Sodor sounded like it was from Game of Thrones. I have actually recently just finished watching through Game of Thrones. I haven't actually ever, like, watched it all before. And me and my buddy watched the whole thing. It won't surprise anyone to know that I have some strong and variable opinions about the show. I do understand what all the fuss was about with the regards to the ending. Now, the ending is appalling. It's one of the worst endings for a TV show I have ever seen. I also do think that as a general show, it's kind of overrated a little bit. I don't think it's as amazing as people, especially at the time. Because I remember when it came out, I was a lot younger than I am now. And I just didn't really... I didn't get engrossed in the hype train, so I wasn't really, like, massively interested. But I know a lot of my buddies were. But to me, I've always just seen it as, well, they were only watching it because there was loads of sex and loads of death and grisly murder. And to be honest, my opinion of that hasn't... That's not really changed, having now watched the whole show. I'm like, yeah, this is basically why people watched it. It's because it was, like, one of the goriest sex-filled things on TV that there had been up to that point. So, my opinion of that hadn't changed. I do think there are some generally really good things about it. I think the political intrigue was really cool, and it definitely has some of the most hateable but also likable characters in it. And Tyrion is a man after my own heart, frankly. He's such a sarcastic little bastard, and I love it. But yeah, in general, I think the show is slightly overrated. Hello, sarcastic paleontologist. How are you doing today? Oh yes, the Minecraft movie trailer. I have zero interest in that, so don't even ask for my opinion on that. I literally don't have any interest. I won't ever have an opinion on Minecraft. Just wanted to put a couple of slightly different trees in this enclosure, just because I think it was looking a little flat. We're also going to do my standard of put a couple of red and orange trees around, just to give a slightly different colour palette to that particular enclosure. Lord of the Rings is better. Yeah, no, I wouldn't agree with that either, Smaug. I have strong opinions about Lord of the Rings as well, especially the TV shows that have been done since. I know that season 2 of Thingy-majig, I can't remember its blasted name. The Rings of Power. I know season 2 of that just dropped on Amazon. I have zero interest to watch it. I watched the first season with my buddy, and we were just like, eh. And yeah, we aren't watching the rest. The films, I think they're good, but man alive, are they tedious at times? They were too long, way too long. Like everyone criticizes the Titanic film for being too long. The Lord of the Rings movies, the director cuts especially, they are way too long. That being said, I do think Game of Thrones has better characters than Lord of the Rings. That's just my opinion. Right, let's put in some rocks, and these are going to mark sort of edge points for foliage for our mini enclosure here. I am aware also if we're going to have carnivores in this one, then we need to make sure that there is a feeder here. I just wish the tropical sand texture would be on Germany. Yes, the European sand texture is not sand. It just is not sand. I know that there is like this belief that we don't have proper sandy beaches in Britain and Europe, but we do. Also, YouTube seems to be buffering a lot on its preview here. But I don't have any problems on OBS, so if you do encounter any issues, it's not on my end. Reminds me of the 6-hour Phantom Menace car. I haven't seen that. I would be quite interested to see that, actually. Because I actually really... I like the Phantom Menace. I genuinely think it's a good movie. I know it gets a lot of stick because of Jar Jar and because of the kids that they had playing Anakin, but honestly, I think The Phantom Menace is a really good film. The pod racing, like there has never been anything quite as cool as pod racing. There just hasn't, and it's actually strangely enough, is like one of the. I mean, I'm a massive Star Trek fan, but like it's one of the massive criticisms I have about Star Trek is that we don't ever see things like pod racing. We never see like sport, and I think pod racing in the Phantom Menace was a really great addition. Obviously, I know it's not all perfect. There was also a lot of criticism about how, like, the political bits of it. But what I find funny is you get people who criticize the Phantom Menace film for having too much politics in it. But then those same people will watch something like Game of Thrones and say it's the best thing ever, even though much of Game of Thrones is all about politics. Like you can't do that. you either don't like politics in your media, or you are okay with it. You can't flip flop around like that. I don't want to use too many of the really big trees, because the whole point of this enclosure is that we want it to be sort of mini. I wish the bloody preview would stop getting stuck. I'm going to chuck in a few... one or two of these bushy trees. Just to improve some of these areas. Maybe one there. Naturally also a couple of different colours. Just to relax the green. Yeah, and just gonna grab the mud texture, turn it way down, and just create some slightly darker paths through the forest. Yeah, lovely. And then put some flowers in here. Oh, what are you doing, Sungaripterus? Are you staking a claim to the castle? Or are you just having a fly around? Just having a fly about? This Sungaripterus is particularly troublesome. He keeps roaming around. I'm actually going to manually grab him. Go back over here. That's where all your food is. Stupid thing. They got perches here, but they don't use them. I've just realised that Microceratus is going to want food, so I'm going to need to figure out what they eat and put some down. But yeah, we've got that's our two enclosures ready to go. So let's save this. And go and grab some skins. Darth Maul is amazing. It's a shame that they didn't use him more. Revenge of the Sith ruined General Grievous. I feel that one of the problems the prequel movies have is that the actual Clone War mostly occurs off screen, at least at the time, sort of, because obviously the animated shows about the Clone Wars came after. But at the time, when we just had those three movies, the Clone Wars mostly occurred off screen, and we never actually got to see most of it. And I do know that that was quite a strong criticism of the film at the time. And Segisaurus. So I'd like the skins for the Segi and the Microceratus to represent their environments a bit, or be based off real life animals that live in those environments. I've gone past the M for Microceratus, haven't I? There she is. Right, so actually move the sun around slightly so we can see it properly. There we go. I want Archaeopteryx in Evolution 3. Do you want Archaeopteryx? Okay, well, firstly, Jurassic World Evolution 3 hasn't been confirmed. And not going to be naming names or anything or pointing fingers, but I do want to remind people, as much as other YouTubers are saying Jurassic World 3 is happening and Jurassic World Evolution 2 is dead and blah blah blah, and I've seen posts on Reddit as well, people going, oh well, because they've announced the name of the next film that JWE3 is confirmed. It is not. Until we have it in writing from Frontier that they are actually working on it, Jurassic World Evolution 3 is only a assumption at the moment. If we were to get a JWE3, Archaeopteryx, I think, is one of those animals that is missing that I think is necessary to have. Hello, Spiny Games. There's I think there's like a handful of dinosaurs and other animals that I think it's strange that we don't have yet. I think it's strange we don't have Plateosaurus yet. I think it's strange we don't have Protoceratops yet. I think it's strange we don't have Archaeopteryx. I think it's strange that we don't have something like Microraptor or a Microraptorid of some description. I think it's strange that we don't have the Gorgonopsid yet. So, and yes, King Giga, this is the other problem, or not necessarily problem, but fear that I have, is that they have really, really, really got to make massive changes for it to be worth buying, in my opinion. What do people think about that for a desert Microceratus? Yeah, I think that as a desert skin works quite nicely. Dane is in the room. Yes, Dane is playing Baldur's Gate 3 at the moment with his friends. So Great Sandy Desert and Pelophylax. We're not doing male and female skins in this particular park. We're just picking skins we like for the animals, because they're too small really for it to be relevant. Bridges, yeah, there is a couple of things that are like the hill I'm dying on when it comes to Jurassic World Evolution 3. Like, pterosaurs have to walk and have socials. There has to be bridges and tunnels, and there has to be a few other sort of minor improvements, like to the scientist system and stuff. And if they don't do those, then I'm not buying it. I'm gonna vote with my wallet. As much as I would love to be able to have the game if it comes out to make content for it, if it doesn't have worthwhile improvements, I am not buying it. I'm gonna vote with the wallet. Right, Segisaurus. So, Segisaurus for... Incidentally, the video for the 11th of September about 10 things that they should do with the animals in Jurassic World Evolution 3 is done, uploaded. It's scheduled to release on Wednesday. So that's already done for you. As per the schedule for releases that I posted the other day. Now, for fir trees or fir forest, let's see, kind of probably a green of some description. Quite like that. No, I think that's doable. I think it works for a fir tree forest. For Seji, I like Death Valley and Pulkrana. That is a nice skin, but I think it doesn't really suit a fir tree sort of forest style enclosure. So I think it is a good skin though. So mangrove, forest, and Pulkrana. Talking about skins and biomes and things, I have begun researching for the video I'm going to do. I think it's towards the end of the month about the skin biomes, and I think people have misunderstood. People weren't clear in that little schedule that I made what that video is going to be about. What I'm going to do is do a couple of videos looking at the real world environments that the skins in game, both the patterns and the main body colors, are named after, and basically talk about them, but also try to figure out like what particular animals in those environments they have used as inspiration for the animal skins. So that is the purpose of that video. Right, let's get the Microcerati and Segisauri into the enclosure. Microceratus. And this is going to be Great Sandy Desert and Pelophylax. Go with a herd of 5. Because it's not exactly a huge inclusion. I don't want it to appear overcrowded. God, those Amargasaurus are so loud. And let's get our Seji. One thing I didn't like about Dominion's Microceratus is the animatronic. Yes, the animatronic was particularly bad, but I'm not surprised. You see, the company that built the animatronics for Dominion was not a company that had ever done a Jurassic film before. And looking at their previous works, they hadn't really made lifelike animatronics before. So I'm not surprised the animatronics ended up looking like crap. There again, I would say even the Giga in some parts looked pretty poor. Why am I having so much trouble finding somewhere to deliver the Segis? There's tons of room here. Oh, for heaven's sake. Gonna have to remove the feeder, I think. And I just realized the next stream is on the 11th. No, the next video is on the 11th. The next stream is Sunday. Why? Why can I not place? There's loads of room. Did she just say it like that? Microceratus. That's weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Microceratus to the park.
Microceratus. There's space somewhere here. Oh yeah, comparing the animatronics from Dominion to Walking with Dinosaurs, you can see just how bad they are. Swerve is trying to convince me Dominion is good. Swerve! Look, I would never criticize other YouTubers on stream, on my own YouTube, but Swerve... You know... He makes clickbaity thumbnails, he's rude to people on his Twitter. You know, he acts like he's got a big ego, I think. Personally, I just don't get on with him. And anyone who went and watched Dominion like 13 times and thought it was the best film ever, dude, just know it's nowhere near the best film ever. It's not even the best Jurassic film ever. He's just his channel is built to appeal to the younger audience, and I can't fault him for that. But, you know, I think he certainly isn't my sort of YouTuber, let's put it like that. Fiber and Leaf.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Stegosaurus to the park.
Stegosaurus. Is it me, or is like the pronunciation of some of these animals just really off? Segi instead of Seji. Put some. Yeah, that's enough, I think. Are you drinking? Are you drinking?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Stegosaurus to the park.
That should be enough water for them to drink from, surely. I get the impression it's not. I might have to give them a little bit more.
We are pleased to welcome a Stegosaurus to the park.
Just gonna have to keep a careful eye on the enclosures here. I'm the younger audience, and I still agree. Well, yeah, I didn't mean, you know, younger audience as a criticism, by the way. Not trying to be pessimistic, but I don't think Jurassic World Rebirth is going to be it. Look, we haven't seen very much about Rebirth yet. We've literally just seen the plot synopsis. That's all we've seen. And, you know, we've seen some photographs of them making it. I don't think we can really... I don't think we've seen enough to be able to determine whether Rebirth is going to be a good movie or not. I'm waiting for the trailer to come out. I want to see what the trailer looks like first. Who's going to win? This is a fight for dominance, for the alpha position. Our alpha is still the alpha. He has kept his place. Yeah, exactly, Kyrie. We need more, and we can't really base anything, base any opinions until we do actually have more. Kind of curious about Post putting a... Because you don't really have a viewing structure here, which is a bit disappointing. What I might do is put in a viewing tower at the back. No, I've just realized why there aren't people here. So, the reason there are not people there is because the gates are shut. We could open the gates, but then that risks animals escaping. I need to find a way of preventing the animals getting out. Maybe, like the bollards would do it. We can put some bollards there. So open the gates. And we'll see what happens. Because it would be nice to be able to have these gates open. So that guests can actually, you know, walk through. While we're here, let's actually just put in some decoration here. I'm hoping the bollards are far enough apart that people will be able to walk through, but close enough together that it prevents dinosaurs from getting through. That's the plan. We'll have to see if it works. Hello, Joshua. Yeah, I mean, I would argue Universal has already started to milk the franchise dry. Let's speed up time and see if people will actually go through the gates. Okay. Well, it didn't stop the dinosaur, that's for sure. No. You're not going through. And yeah, it doesn't see... It seems that all opening the gates did is... stop... Seriously, what is with the bollards? There he goes, wandering through. I don't understand where they want to go. Like, where exactly is it they're trying to get to? Because, like, all their food is here. I have the gates open. They should be... There should be connections directly to these. Oh, now what's low health? What's wrong? No food. Oh, shit, no food. Sorry, guys, I forgot to put your food in the enclosure, didn't I? And they're gonna need it rebuilt for them to see, aren't they? I forgot to give them food. It's right there, guys. There we go. Go and eat. You're getting a bearded dragon tomorrow. What are you going to call it, Smoke? You going to go and eat, folks? Come on. There we go. I'm actually just going to let these guys wander because I'm curious where they're going. I want to see where it is they're trying to get to. They're just trying to get to the other side of the fence. Why? There's nothing there for you. Trying to get to water, but there's water. There's literally so much water here. Why are you going there for water? Honestly, the dinosaurs in this game make absolutely no sense. Minmai, also wandering this way. Yeah, I'm gonna have to shut the gates. Otherwise, we'll be forever putting dinosaurs back. It's frustrating, but it's the only way to keep them staying where they are. They really didn't go for the fir forest either. They're all just staying around the water. Yeah, so we won't have people walking around the castle, which is a bit disappointing. But there's nothing really we can do about it. I wonder what happens if we put one of these in. I wonder if it actually, like, functions at all. No path. What? Just curious to see if guests come out of it. Let's give it a moment. They're just living their life, quite possibly. Hunting is not on. Combat is on. I think that's what you mean by hunting. That's why I don't do petting zoos often. Yeah, it's one of my problems with it. Like, to create a really, truly good-looking walkthrough enclosure with these gates, you can't stop the dinosaurs escaping from them. So there's no way of doing it. Like, it's all right to have... how are people here? How are people here if there's no entrance here? Is it just because they're all just staff? Oh, they are, aren't they? They're all just staff. It is what it is. If people don't go here, they don't go here. It's, you know, one of those things. Even though having to care for 5 snakes, 11 geckos, and 7 more coming, 3 lizards, soon a bearded dragon, and 2 chameleons is a bit stressful. It does sound it, Smug. Oh, yeah, the attractions, yeah. They don't go anywhere unless there's an attraction, which... personally, I don't see the point, because then, again, you end up having to place attractions even though they would naturally just wander the park. Well, whatever. Let's leave that zone as it is and come back to here. So, I need to design the campground, I think. Let's have a look. How am I going to make this look? One, two, three. Oh, shoot. There we go. Oh, blast. That really should be the other way. It should be that going around to there. Sorry, folks, I'll catch up to chat in a sec. I just want to get this path built. Okay, good. And then we will do trees and stuff in the middle. And along the outside. And hopefully It will make for a nice little campground. Okay, and then the rest of this will just be the campsite. I'm going to use the brown path to kind of do the pathing around the campsite. And we're going to make it small brown. Yeah. I'll have like a couple of routes in and out. Put this down as the base color. Right, sorry. I will now catch up to you, chat. He's giving you the side eye. That's a definite sign he's up to something. I want to might put in the gates. Where were those open gates I just saw? There they were. And then I'm going to use the low walls. Used to own a monster lizard. I would love to own a reptile of some sort, but I just can't handle the feeding of live food. Plus, being in the UK, you know, if we have an especially cold winter, it can get really, really perilously cold. And I don't think it's too fair on a reptile to have to deal with that, so just for its own oh look, that's not correct. I want you traveling the other way. Anti-clockwise, please. There goes our first little tour boat. May have to adjust the pathing of it slightly. But, it works. Right. Churro acts like a cat. He head bobs, asserting his dominance, basically saying he owns me. He owns the house and I am his servant. Why did you call him Churro? I'm curious. He is orange with darker brownish orange speckles. Ah, I see. Hello, Righteous Ham. Okay, so we'll have one set of tents here. We'll have another set of tents here. Have let's adjust the positioning of these slightly. I have a set of tents there. And maybe a quadruple there. And maybe we'll have like a bigger campground here. Yeah, okay. 5 sets of tents. And now what I want to do is put down the dirty floor coating. So this will be, again, pine forest, but it'll be much bigger than the ones we were using before. give them like 2 ways into that one. And then what we'll do is just basically surround the tent areas with the trees. And then it will just be... yeah. Ah, Berenson! Is Berenson here? He is. Hello. How are you doing? Gonna need some barrier fencing. Well, yes, the fencing around the edge. I'm not going to fence it in. I'm going to tree it in. Or rock it in. I don't want to use too much fence. You'll notice I have kind of only used some along here. But I've tried to hide it mostly with the tree line. I don't want to use too much. This campground is supposed to be, you know, a campground. It's not supposed to be full of loads of trees. What I was going to use relatively big trees around this campsite. I want this whole area to be like quite woody, for want of a better term. Right, let's get on with the pines now. Let's start by placing these. It's going to take a lot of trees to bed all this in, but once it's done, it should look pretty good. Gonna need lots of bushes as well. Okay, next type of tree. Literally just going to be me planting trees for like the next 10 minutes, I think. Okay, let's put in the taller ones. What I want to eventually aim to do is for the sort of tents to basically not be visible from the path. That's the aim. Maybe it probably makes more sense to like obviously another thing we're going to have to do is place in some additional types of bushy trees, like the orange ones, just to mix up the style of tree. You were talking about the bearded dragon still. By the way, folks, sorry if I'm not catching up with chat as often as I'd like. I just wanted to really focus on getting stuff done. So that I can sort of in a minute have like a little break to talk to you guys. Right, let's start putting some other colors in here. Yeah, and I think, you know, you can still get the grasp of the campsites. You can still just about see them, but they're not too... Might need a couple more trees along here. But they're not too obvious and visible from the path, which is what I was after, really. And this, you know, fits in with the other areas in the park that we've got going on, enclosure-wise. So yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that. I am going to just add a couple of embellishments. No, there are not Utahraptors in this park, because this park is for all the small species, if you remember Berenson. Just gonna give them some embellishments here, so A little fire pit. We're gonna have like a couple of benches. Maybe a bin? Yeah, they should all have a bin. That's important, I think. Same for this one. So we've got fire pit. Bin. And some benches. Bench. Bin. Fire pit. How about the Emperor? Yes, I hear that the new Space Marine game has launched to general high praise. I'll be honest, I'm not that interested. The Warhammer games have never really truly interested me, mostly because I am not a fan of them just relying on the Space Marines. Personally, I've always found the Space Marines kind of a boring faction. I was always a solid Imperial Guards chap. I just wish that the games would focus on other groups that are not just the Space Marines, but, you know. Tis what it is. Right, so that's them with all of their fire pits and their benches and stuff. So the campground is all set up pretty much for them to get here. So we need to finish this, finish up with the dinosaur species, basically. Because that's all that's left to do is environmental work after that. So this wild enclosure, I'm kind of hoping to be able to have quite a lot of animals in here. And I want to try and use the water as much as possible. But then again, just thinking about it, that might not be possible. So the plan is to have small species here, but also we're going to use like some of the statues to like represent bigger dinosaurs, so you get a grasp of how small the other ones are. We're going to make this a kind of beachy sort of area. Actually, you could make this just like a whole mangrove forest, actually. Okay. We're going to have mangroves kind of around the river. And then away from the river, it won't be. Just have it as normal vegetation away from the river. make this slightly less flat. Yeah, that should do. Pancakes. Pancakes! Oh, I never really developed much of a taste for them. My family never really did like pancake day or anything like that in the UK, so I never really developed much of a taste for pancakes. And as an adult, I don't kind of understand what the fuss is about. Like, I've had pancakes now that I've, you know, had the ability to have them, and I'm like, they're not that great. Okay, and then the rest of the foliage will be manually placed, and we'll manually put down rocks and stuff. So we'll use this island to have the carnivore on, because obviously the carnivore won't be able to leave water, so to travel across water, sorry, so we can put the carnivore in there without much trouble, I don't think. Waffles are better. I agree with you there. I think waffles are better. But I think what we'll do is we'll put in the statues, because the statues we obviously want to have. They're like our key bits of set dressing for this enclosure, as it were. It's a big enclosure though, isn't it? And these animals are just going to wander out, mostly. No, I think what we'll do is we'll restrict the animals to... We'll actually restrict them to a particular area. Because otherwise they're just going to absent-mindedly wander about, and no one will ever see them. A fight has begun between the Draco Rex again. So yeah, we'll just make all this forest. It's fine, and then we'll just have like this mangrove swamp as the actual sort of tour area. so let's put in... Let's have some Alamosaurus kind of... Gonna have like an Alamosaurus herd walking along the river there. In the carnivore area, maybe we could have like... Have like a Spinosaurus. And let's also have a Quetz. Let's have some Triceratops kind of down here. Some Torosaurus. And we'll have some Parasaurolophus. Obviously, I'm just placing these down so I can get a gist of what I want to have where. We'll obviously bed everything in properly once the time comes. I think in the set, because if I do switch to delete, you'll see how I've done this route. What I'm going to do in the middle, just going to pause that there so I can kind of get a general gist of where they are. Maybe a bit bigger than that. Probably too big there. So what I'm going to do roughly in the middle, that's perfect, is like build a little like rock formation, and we'll have some pterosaurs and stuff sitting on there. So there are going to be animals in here, Kairu. The statues are just here to like, so when the smaller animals are in here, to give people like a reference between the sizes. That's the point of the statues, is to act as a referencing between them. Right, so let's do the carnivore bit. Blimey, we've only got half an hour left. Let's do the carnivore island. Hopefully that should take us up to the end of the stream. Gonna put the rock formations in now. Yeah. What dinosaurs shall... Because obviously we've got some of the small carnivores in here already. But But I'm wondering what small animals to small carnivore or carnivores. I suppose we could have more than one to actually have on the island. Let's go have a look at the dinosaur list. Has anyone had the glitch where your dinosaurs clip out off the map and roam around outside the map? No, but I have seen it happen to other people. Can I do this by... no, I can't do it by size. So... I think Coelophysis counts as big. Compy I know counts. Oviraptor, Moros intrepidus. We haven't got Moros intrepidus in here, or Sinosauropteryx yet. So, Moros intrepidus and Sinosauropteryx are the animals that we need to have on that little island. Pyroraptor is also too big. Yes, Eustriptus spondylus. It's one of a number of modded carnivores I have. Looking at the modding scene for Jurassic World Evolution 2, I might not have any mods to do the September mod showcase on, so what I might do is just pick a particular topic, like carnivore mods, and show off some of the carnivore mods I have, because obviously I have the Bista Hyversaur there, I have the Eocarcharia there, the Eustriptus spondylus, the Phaselosuchus is there. There's the Lahavenator, the Mapusaurus, the Megalania, Saurophaganax, the Tertanis. They're all very good mods, so that might be what this September mod look at is all about. Okay, so Moros intrepidus. Where the bloody hell has it gone? There it is. God, he's so small. I think we can have like a couple, maybe 3 different color variations. So let's go with some very distinct, vibrant, different colors. Let's do a green one first. It doesn't really go very well with any of these patterns, does it? That's probably the best one there is. That's disappointing. It kind of looks okay. So let's do Limpopo River and Porkrana. Let's do one that's like a kind of reddish or sort of beachy kind of coloration. And again, I am failed by the terrible quality of the colors on this guy. So Death Valley and Papurana. So Cairo, I have everything set to everything likes, so they can't actually eat each other. Proceratosaurus is a good species, but it's just a bit too big. It would be able to cross all the water, so I want something to go with the Calcarana skin, so okay. Now let's do that one. So Gambia River Basin and Calcarana. Can Troodon cross the water? Maybe Berenson, maybe you could Google that for me? Or if someone could quickly test it out, because I don't know if it can. If it can't cross the water, then yeah, I'll use it. Sinosauropter. Lystrosaurus is not in this park, no. It will go into the herbivore side of what we're working on here. So let's do Svalbard and Pulkrana. Oh, it can cross the water. Then yeah, won't be using it in this one. We use Gambia River Basin and Rana. And let's go one that's green. I am very disappointed by the patterns on this guy. They really did a shit job, I have to say. They're also terrible. We use Papurana just because I like the blue around the eyes. Okay, and then for herbivores... so what cannot cross water? In terms of herbivores. Whoops. Listro... I'm pretty sure Homalocephaly crosses water. So I think I've actually used all of the small herbivores. The herbivore area might have to be fenced in so that we can use things like Dryo and Minmai and Dracorex and that sort of thing. Because I think all of them, apart from Listro, can cross water, which is ever so slightly inconvenient. So yeah, let's go back. You know what? Let's fence. We'll invisible fence them all in. So this way we can have Proceratosaurus and Troodon. So let's do Troodon as well. Do Svalbard and Calcarana. And we'll pick more sort of desert style skin. Death Valley and Pulkrana. And then the Proceratosaurus. We'll only do one skin for Proceratosaurus, because this will be like one of the larger types of animal that we have here. So let's do... yeah. Do that. The Sonoran Desert and Pelophylax. Okay. Yeah, we'll use the invisible fencing, fence all of it in, and then that way we can have as many dinosaurs as we like. And whatever dinosaurs we like. I quite want to have carnivores with just on that island though, and it might be too small to have all 4 of those on that one island. The other thing that we're going to have to be careful of is obviously all of these animals will need to drink. So we are going to have to make sure that there's plenty of access to water. Okie dokie. And then we'll do the same here. Oh, so that was the problem. It'll do. They should... You know what? All I'll do is I'll just add a little bit more water. There you go. That's a little better. Okay. Terrain tools can be sometimes annoying in this game. Let's do the Procerosaurus first. Sonoran Desert and Pelophylax. We'll do 4. While we're waiting for them to pop in, I'm going to build in that. little rocky island with trees and stuff on it, obviously. I love mustard. It's like my favorite condiment to go with bacon, sausage, turkey, chicken, beef. Mustard is just English mustard though. Proper English mustard, none of that French stuff or American stuff. Proper English mustard. Okay, let's go and get Trudon. For this, we've got Svalbard and Kalkarana. And the other one is going to be Death Valley and Pulkrana. I think the Troodons will have on the same island with the Proceratosaurus. And then the Moros Intrepidus and the Sinosauropteryx will put in the herbivore section. Because they should be big enough that it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I mean, I would put a herbivore on the island. Maybe a sauropod of some description? Like a small sauropod, like Niger, perhaps, or something? Goodbye, Smaug. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, Atifa. Thank you. Glad you like. I do need to, while I'm waiting for dinosaurs to be dropped in, let's put in some... So, yes, we could go and get the mangrove forest mod. But I'll be honest, I don't... The mangrove trees that the mod has are just kind of a bit small for my purposes. So we're just going... I just use the these Mediterranean trees. Because if you grab one and sink it down, let's do like a demonstration here. They basically look like mangroves if you sink them down. And then if you just put a few rocks and other plants around, that works just fine. Now the first of the Troodons are in. I'm going to put another carnivore feeder in there, and we're going to have another one in there. I want to make sure there's lots of feeders for them so that the animals have plenty of places to go to eat. So if they do like panic around one another, it's not too much of a problem, because obviously Proceratosaurus oh look. Well, the Proceratosaurus and Troodon are almost the same size. Huh. That's kind of a surprise. Let's put a few rocks around this Spino. And bed in him with some trees. Where are those palms? There they are. you down. Sink you down. Would have to be Nigersaurus. Yeah, maybe Niger. Or I could use the Yamanosaurus, which is the modded animal I have. Why does the thumbnail have Oviraptor? Oviraptor is in the park. I picked an animal that was already in the park, not necessarily one that was being added to the park. Put a couple of the trees in here. Nice. You're an expert on troodontids, are you? I believe a new one has recently been discovered. I think I tagged an article in the Discord in the paleontology area. Yeah, and then basically that is what I'm just going to do for the rest of the enclosure. We'll have the smaller types of herbivores here, but we're talking a lot of them will probably still be relatively large because we don't have that many small herbivores. We'll have some Morus intrepidus and Sinosauropteryx in there, and then this part will basically be done, and it will just be a matter of doing some environmental finishing, like finishing up the hedge maze, putting in some taller trees and stuff. Finishing up doing the guest areas around here. Putting the guest areas around here. And just finishing up the area around here. And then basically this park will be finished and ready for a walkthrough. Tour. Which is nice. It's nice to get parks finished and done and out of the way and done with. We won't be naming these, Berenson. There's way too many dinosaurs to be naming them. This park is more about the building than it is the naming. Yeah, Yamanosaurus is a reasonably small sauropod, so it should work. I really like this park. I think it's one of my more imaginative ones, with the sort of entrance area of the lowered enclosure with the wild Yeholopterus, this little swamp behind the glass walls, the little golf course, the gallery that overlooks the this enclosure at the back here. I think it's one of my more imaginative builds, so I am reasonably happy as to how this has turned out. Well, yeah, I mean, the only real inspiration was the island's shape. Apart from that, everything else is pretty much my doing, so I think the waterfalls on the edge, I'm going to put a couple of other waterfalls on these edges. Probably one or two over here around this area, a couple off of here. Oh no, I've already done the ones off of here. I just think the waterfalls should definitely add a little bit of tropicalness to it. Tempted to somewhere, probably here, put in another waterfall from one of these peaks down, maybe leading to here technically, just so we can have a bigger, taller waterfall, just for again another little bit of environmental interest. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. The Yeholopterus are curiously staying to their enclosure. When I first built this park, the Yeholopterus were happy to go everywhere. But now they are staying stubbornly to their little enclosure, which I find surprising. It's a massacre of insects. Look how many of them there are. They are adorable, the Yeholopterus. I love them. Such a waste of a feeding structure, though, just to have one animal use it. I do speak about this in my video next week, just as a little advance hint for you there. Yeah, I think this has turned out pretty damn good. all the Troodons have seemed to have claimed the Tarbosaurus fighting the Therizinosaurus beach as their own. This is our territory. Where are the Proceratos? Proceratos seem to be sort of more roaming. Couple seem to be claiming the Quetz statue as theirs. the Troodon beach. Thank you, Righteous Ham. Probably be one of the final ones I do. I'm curious what this looks like in the dark. Oh. Looks very atmospheric in the dark. Proper little memorial for John Hammond there. I love the ultraviolet purple I used for the lighting here. It looks really good. There's no lighting for any of the dinosaur enclosures, for good reason. Ultraviolet lights around the mini golf, and then the the red and green lights denoting where the entrance and exit for each hole is. Lights around the viewing windows. The fire on leading up to the gallery and around. Floodlights at the end of the bridge and down here, just for a bit of extra light. Again, more ultraviolet. Oh, the campground looks really cool. I think that works really nicely as a little campground. That works so well. The little tents. Absolutely nothing there. Dinosaur poisoned. Oh, oh, whoa! Hey, hey, hey! You're all supposed to be. You're all supposed to be getting along with each other. Just gonna double check that dinosaur injuries are off. Dinosaurs are all likes. Combat frequency normal, yeah. So oh, the Proceratosaurus has got bit and poisoned by the Troodon. Look at them all. They've definitely marked this end of the island as theirs. Normal means I know that. I want them to. I don't want it to be completely friendly. I don't mind the occasional fighting as long as they don't kill each other. That is the right save. We are going to overwrite it. Just before I turn off the stream, I'm going to quickly show you guys... I did just save that, right? I'm paranoid about saving now. Yep. I'm going to quickly show you guys... I've made some changes to the realistic park. They won't die. I'll keep them living. Don't worry. I'm just going to show you guys that I've made a couple of changes to the realistic park. Such an awful line from the movie, that one. Right, so you might remember that when I first built the realistic park, everything was coming in off this one road. Well, I've added a slip road now to a separate entrance leading into the cargo zone, the staff car park. We have like a little security station, power, garage space, cargo space. And then this up here is going to be the recycling plant / dinosaur shit deal with a location. It's going to be the refuse bit, basically. And then there's going to be a path that leads into the park from here. And then a bit further up, there's going to be the access roads. And I've decided, so there is a decoration type. Where is it? Here. Is it here? Yes. So I'm going to use these enormous blocks. So this is going to connect like the staff zone to the raised bit of terrain in the middle. And this is going to basically like start down there and come all the way around up to here. So it'll serve as a kind of bridge slash pathway all the way from one end to the other end of the park. So yeah, a few changes made to the realistic park just to get those bit sorted. But yeah, I'm going to stop the stream here since we are a little bit over. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and yeah, I'll see you guys on Sunday where we will be playing something other than Jurassic World Evolution. Not sure yet. I haven't decided. Subnautica is a possibility, but I'm on the fence still. But yeah, I'll see you guys on Sunday, and until then, wherever you are, enjoy the rest of your Friday nights. Stay safe, and good night.